Hey you guys, we got our sensitivity checks back. Look at these. There is quite a bit of information in here, and there is also a wow, well, now what am I gonna do moment on ours. You guys come back and I'm gonna share. Hey everyone, good morning, good morning. Welcome all you new folks, and welcome back everybody to Loving It on Keto. You guys, today we start our second round of the sardine fasting. Yes, we do 72 hours of sardines. I don't know if I can do this or not, given that I had food poisoning from shrimp on Friday night, but I'm gonna give it a good try. The sardine fast starts the first can you open to the last one that you eat. So you guys, we're gonna get this started today. Now, in May, the end of May, we sent strands of hair, 5 strands each to be exact, to the sensitivity check company. They sent it out to a lab to do a complete analysis. And when I say complete analysis, this is pretty thick.
It's intense.
And it's intense. Now, it's a sensitivity check. It can tell you up to like allergy level, and it starts at 85%. All of the things that are 84% and below are not on here because that's in the normal level, that's in the normal range. Everything that's 85% and above to 100% means that you have sensitivity and or an allergy to it. And they tell you how to do an elimination diet to potentially help alleviate the symptoms you're having with it and reset your metabolism. Now, I am shocked at what both Harry and mine said. Some of it is very disconcerting on the my brain's, there's food items, which is the number one. There is non-food items and environmental items that you have been exposed to. There is nutritional imbalances, things that you are not getting enough of. There is metals imbalances, things that you have too much of in your system. And there is hormones. There's gut biome test in here. There's the hormonal imbalance. So there's also digestive health and metabolism analysis on here. Now each one of those categories has a box, a blue box above. And I want to just go over mine with everybody today because these are quite extensive. I want to share mine with everybody today, go over my food allergies and what I'm going to do, food sensitivities, and what I'm going to do about some of these. The main ones, the ones that are in the 90s to 100%. Because you guys, I got a food item that is 100% that I am very upset about. But I'm gonna do a food elimination diet for this particular one. There's a lot that I can omit right away and I don't have to worry about. I just need to note. Now, sensitivities can be anything from a drippy, runny, post-nasal drip, sinus type of infection that does not go away, that you get on long term, or every time you eat it, you have a stuffy nose, or if you bend over, your nose is dripping, to rashes, to hives, to extreme slight itching, to extreme itching, and more. So I'm thinking that the hair analysis is better because it's more long-term because your hair grows slowly than a blood test, which goes quickly through your system and can change every second in your body, every minute in your body, depending on what you've eaten lately and all of those things. So you guys, I am dressed for success because I have an appointment with my trainer at the gym, and then I have Tai Chi later. I am going to the gym in a fasted state. I'm coming home having my first can of sardines, and then I'm gonna go meet my daughter, Felicia, for Tai Chi. Harry has his, finally, his MRI, no contrast appointment, and we have to be there at 5 p.m. today. So that's gonna work out really well for us. The sardines are gonna be great. Thank heavens, sardines is not on either Harry nor my list. But you guys.
I'm allergic to working out.
No, you're not. But when I tell you what we are both highly sensitive to the tune of, for me, 100% top of the list, you guys are gonna go, oh no! Now what, Wendy? I've worked it out, and I think I've got a pretty good plan, and I'll explain it all in the next segment, you guys.
That's what's going?
Okay. It's finger pricking time because today is the start of our sardine fast, round 2. Anyway, you guys, I want to do my blood work to see what my ketones are from my food poisoning. So
I'm doing it, all right.
yes, you are. You're doing it. 0.2.
Yeah. Lousy.
0.5, I'm surprised after having food poisoning that I'm in ketosis. You guys, I get the dawn effect, so we'll see how that's going.
100. Wow. What did we do yesterday?
Well, mine's 125. We just woke up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Are you supposed to wait a while?
I don't have time. I have to go to,
Oh, right, okay.
go ahead and turn that off.
We'll end with something.
Oh, anyway, you guys, we'll see you in the next segment. You guys, I am back from my weightlifting, and I want to eat a can of sardines because it's sardine time. Yes, it is. It's the beginning of our 72-hour fast. Now, here's the deal. These are all packed in 100% olive oil. Harry needs to drain and rinse his because we found out he has a sensitivity to green olives, which is what they use. They press the olives right off the tree, but I'm not throwing away 3 cases of olives, and his sensitivity is not that bad on his sheet. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna eat these. So we gotta get these ready to go. I've got my used Temu bag, which are excellent if you can keep them in your hands. They're excellent for storing the spent cans in. Yes, they are. So we're gonna fill this up with cans and any paper towels that smell like sardines. They're gonna go in here and then out to the trash. So we're repurposing these. Have them under the sink, and they really work well for trash. You guys, if you aren't doing sardines, are you doing canned tuna? Are you doing canned salmon? Are you doing smoked oysters? What are you doing during the 3-day sardine fast if you are sharing that with us and you don't care for sardines? What are you guys doing? Leave me a comment down in the description below, but let's get these sardines opened. Yes, indeed. Oh, and I'm splashing some apple cider vinegar on mine. That's all I'm using is apple cider vinegar and cherry wood salt. Yes, I am. Let me get my salt. Redmond's Real Salt Cherry Wood is really good on the sardines. It gives it a smoky flavor, and it adds to them greatly. Yes, it does. So anyway, you guys, man, telling ya, I should be fine. These don't smell like anything like shrimp does, that's for sure. I am very sore in the core of my body from heaving so much that I worked that out in the gym with Alejandra. Let me put these in my recycle. You're gonna eat yours out of the can, Harry?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm eating mine out of a bowl. They just make me feel better.
Freaking can, I like it.
I like mine out of a bowl. Right here. Can you grab that? I want my counter smelling. That one can be mine. Harry puts a little bit of Dawn in the sink because it helps break down the oil, so when they go down the drain, they do really well.
Yeah, it basically breaks down the oil really good.
Yeah, it does. There you go.
I'm just gonna eat mine out of the can.
Okay. Don't drip the water in it. I don't want the water or the oil. I just don't like the taste. Now, you guys, for mine, I'm putting some Cherrywood Redmond smoked salt on it. If you haven't tried it, we've got a 15% discount down in the description below. The code is Loving It on Keto, of course. It's delicious, and I am putting in a capful of apple cider vinegar. I used to love putting the malted vinegar on my H-Salt fish and chips, if you guys remember that growing up. I think they went out of business, but they were delicious. I'm just gonna put a little bit of vinegar on mine. Maybe I'll put two capsules, so about 2 teaspoons. The apple cider vinegar on mine. There I go, there I have it. That's my breakfast for today with a cup of coffee. Yes, indeed. I'm just gonna eat yours. Do you want a little bit of salt on yours?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, you know what? Give me a bowl.
Because I think it just is better in a bowl.
Because then I can mix it.
Yes.
Plus I don't have my hands all greasy. Or whatever, oily.
Yes, oily. Don't drip it into your bowl because then since you've got a sensitivity to green olives. There you go. Do you want any H-Salt vinegar? I mean, apple cider vinegar on yours?
No.
Okay, there you go, here. And then I spray a vinegar solution in the sink. And this is how we store our canned fish. Oops, I'm gonna take this because it's got little fishies on it. Put that in the bag too. How do you guys dispose of your cans of odorous foods? Do you do like we do? Leave me a description down in the comments below. Yes, indeed. Hey everybody, this is going to be a long segment because I want to go over my sensitivity check that I had done from a hair sample from Bioresonance Test. They are the facility that did this test and provided a 22-page report for me and one for Harry, but I want to do mine for everyone, and I'll go over some things that are the same or different for Harry and I, but basically some things I want to clear up because I've been using the word allergy. I need to use the word sensitivity, food sensitivity, because if you have a food allergy, that is a huge difference between being sensitive to a food and being allergic. Allergies include, nonetheless, rashes, hives, anaphylactic shock, some life or death situations with a food you need to totally avoid. Sensitivity can be anything from getting a little dullness, brain fog, little stuffy nose, little postnasal drip. Your nose, when you bend over, is dripping a little bit. Maybe a little tickle in your throat. Maybe some itching. Maybe some gut issues or intestinal issues with a food that makes it sensitive where you can't really pinpoint what is happening. So it's my bad for using the word allergy when we're talking sensitivities. Some food sensitivities that they have shown that I have may not have even, I have not even realized that I have or am sensitive to that particular food. And I'll explain that as we go by. So another thing I want you guys to know is, as I've researched food sensitivity tests, home tests, what doctors are saying, what doctors think about allergy tests, etc. And really, to be the most accurate, pinpoint accurate, is very, very hard to do. Just like a Keto Mojo or any glucose or blood ketone monitor is the same. The blood is moving through your body. When you go to get your blood test, it depends on what you've eaten. It depends on a lot of factors. So you got to take this information with a grain of salt and know that it is not 100% accurate. Now, to me, a hair sample gives you a longer chronological order of things on your hair strand, right? It's like a ring of a tree where you can find out more information than a blood test, which is at the moment, right then and there, and maybe a little bit before or a little bit behind. So just take it with a grain of salt. And there are a lot of doctors who don't believe in them, and there are a lot of doctors that do. But again, you have to take this information because information is power. Don't freak out. Figure out what you're going to do with that information and move forward. So I wanted to share my information with you, and then I'm going to share what I'm going to do with my information, with my own personal body. And just remember, I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I am not a health practitioner at all. As many doctors that are out in the ketogenic and carnivore sphere, many of them have slightly different variances and nuances in what their beliefs are based on the information that they have gleaned from their own personal use and from other research and other things. And there is constantly new information coming out. And what works for one doctor's body may not work for another's. There is one thing that I want to bring forward too, is this test is for a specific antibody. This is for the IgG, which is a sensitivity test for a specific antibody. And it's that food has a memory and an immune response. So there's a sensitivity reactive protein that's attached to that. That's what is being measured. Now, for an allergy, a true allergy, that is the IgE, and it's a real allergy response. And really only 5% of the population have actual symptoms for a specific food that is in the IgE, such as a peanut allergy and you need an EpiPen, right? A peanut butter allergy, right, is huge. Sensitivity to where you don't feel good, you may get some postnasal drip after peanut butter, you can't really pinpoint it. That is a sensitivity. So I just wanted to clarify that information. So when we are talking about this test, it is a sensitivity check. Now, out of the 700 plus things that they tested me for with my hair strand, they took 5 of them, and I sent that in, is they have a scale that starts at 85%. At 85%, you could have a slight sensitivity to something. It's showing up on the radar. There is an immune response and an antibody that's built up that's showing that as a sensitive food for me. Now it goes up to 100%, which means you could have a severe sensitivity to this and you might want to rethink it. You might need to do an elimination diet, which means for the next several weeks you take that specific food group out of the equation and then you reintroduce it after you've been able to cleanse your body, relax, and get your body cleaned out from that food, and then bring it back by itself to see if you have something that you can pinpoint as a sensitivity. Did I get brain fog? Did I get a stuffy nose? Do I feel like I have a sinus infection? Did I get a runny nose? Did I get postnasal drip with this? Am I having gut issues? Did I have GERD or acid reflux? Did I have intestinal issues? Did I have constipation, diarrhea, or gas or bloat? Any of those things. That's the best way to figure it out. Sometimes when we eat a specific food for a very long time and we eat a lot of it, it can build up a response, a false response that shows that you are sensitive to it when really you're not. But the only way to figure that out is to remove it and bring it back in. Sometimes people that eat, let's just say eggs a lot, and they're eating a ton of egg whites, let's just say a ton of egg whites, and they show that they're sensitive to egg whites. Remove the egg whites and eggs and make sure the food that you are eating has no egg whites in the ingredient list either. And then wait at least 14 days, 30 is better, and then reintroduce egg whites into the plan and see, do I have, brain fog? Do I have sinus problems? Do I have postnasal drip, etc., so forth and so on? And that's how you can tell. And then you need to decide, can I have this on occasion, and can I say, okay, I'm going to get postnasal drip for the next couple days from it? Or, okay, I'm going to get a little brain fog from that. Or, yeah, I may get a little indigestion, but is it worth it to you? And that's how you have to look at this. Now, I plan on taking my 22-page report in to my doctor and discuss it with him, especially some of the areas which are the nutritional imbalances, the metal sensitivities, the gut biome, and digestive health and metabolism analysis, just so that he knows what I've done and get his thoughts on the subject as well. He's a doctor of internal medicine. I trust him, and we like to have lively conversations and see what he thinks on this information that I have that's been gleaned by doing a hair sample. So you guys, I want to come to the screen and go over this. Like I said, Sensitivity Check is the company that I went through. They send it out to Bioresonance, and they do the actual testing and reporting back to me. I am not an affiliate of Sensitivity Check. I am not an affiliate of Bioresonance Test Report. I Googled several companies. This is the one I personally chose based on information that I saw, based on comments from other people. And so I am neither confirming nor denying that they are the best or they are the worst or they're somewhere in between. I'm simply sharing with you the company I chose personally and the information they sent back to me. So I just want to share that. Now, food items. This report will show and find the following information. There's going to be a page and a report on food items. Several everyday food items, ingredients, and preservatives are included in this section of the report. Items listed are those to which your sample has indicated a sensitivity. Now, you guys, that's this one right here. So it has to have an 85% before it's even considered a sensitivity. So that's the smallest you can have. Nothing else even shows on the radar. So note, if you see 85%, don't freak out, because that means, you could be sensitive to that food. Now, the next one is non-food items. Non-food items tested include different animals, animal dander, fungus, plant life, and other inedible items, right? Nutritional imbalances. All essential vitamins and minerals are included in this section. So they tested all essential vitamins and minerals. If any imbalances are suspected, your results will suggest a few sources of each nutrient. Now, if that page is blank, that means you're fine. There's nothing that showed up. You're not sensitive to anything. There's no imbalances. You can move on. The next one is metal sensitivities. Any metals which you sample indicates a sensitivity towards will be listed here along with common sources of these metals. Gut biome. Your gut needs a balance of good bacteria to function correctly. This section indicates suspected imbalances of certain strains of good bacteria. Hormonal imbalances. Checking for various hormonal imbalances such as estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, serotonin, and prolactin. Digestive health and metabolism analysis. Metabolism analysis, sorry you guys. This section analyzes various enzymes which aid digestion and absorption of the nutrients. Now, they're going to share each one and we're going to show everything. So they're going to have a full plan of action on removing the food and non-food items from your diet, as well as how you can change the food you eat to give your body what is needed. So I'm going to go to the first one, and this explains the bioresonance therapy and testing. Okay, it's complementary and alternative medicine. Understanding your results, right, is here. And then there is going to be a red dot, which is a high response. That's a high sensitivity right here. There are items that have been tested and return as a high response. Then there is going to be the yellow one, which is a borderline response. So it means you could have a slight to moderate food sensitivity to it. You may not even know you had. It may not even phase you at all. You may want to just move on with that and not do anything with that. Now, the percentages that this report refers to and the level of potential sensitivity is that they recommend removing all items from the diet reacting at over the 85 percentile. So everything on this sheet that's listed is going to be at least 85% sensitivity. And their medical professional advice to you is, we suggest you remove it, or at least do an elimination diet on it to see how much it affects you. So I wanted to explain that. Now, are the hormones on the hormone page a low or high reading? Right here. The hormone section indicates a potential imbalance rather than high or low levels of a certain hormone. Lifestyle changes such as weight regulation, regular exercise, and stress reduction can help rebalance these hormones. What they're saying is the food you eat, we can rebalance our bodies by omitting and adjusting or adding specific foods to our diet in order to help our bodies rebalance. Now, it goes into all of the stuff with my results show cow's milk. Does that mean all dairy items need to be removed, right? So if you're sensitive to cow's milk and cow's milk products, you can use other animal milk. They said that's fine to consume, but they recommend removing all dairy from the diet. You know, and they're saying you can choose to switch to dairy alternatives during the 4-week elimination period. So do a 4-week elimination period where if you're allergic to cow's milk, then add back one thing, add back butter, because it has a little bit of lactose in it. If you do well with that for a couple days, then add back a little bit of cheese, etc., and so forth to find out what product in the cow's milk sphere of foods affects you. Metal results are these levels within my body. So their metal testing is designed to detect sensitivities to common metals. This is not an indication of exposure or the levels of these metals in the body. So if it shows mercury, don't freak out and think you have mercury poisoning. It's saying you're sensitive to mercury, is all it's saying. It's not what's in your body. That this is just showing those metals, heavy metals, are something that you are sensitive to. So I just want to share all of this stuff. So just remember, symptoms can include headaches, irritability, fatigue, mild rashes, digestive discomforts, and those kinds of things. So I just wanted to share that everything to you guys. I can also retest at a much less price. Now I paid $69 for both of us together. It was a couple's, and it was $69 total. I had to clip and do my own stuff, put it in a bag. I had to fill out the paperwork. I had to send it in, pay for shipping and handling. They sent me an e-copy of this via email when it was done. So I just wanted to share that information with everybody. Now, food items. These are the food items which your sample has shown you will potentially have a reaction to and therefore are showing a sensitivity. To further help you understand these items, each food will have an explanation next to it to show where it can be found. All items tested on the list in your report, those which have a sensitivity level of over 85, are classified as an intolerance. So, here you go. Number 1 on my list, can you guys see it? It's right here. Beef, the flesh of a cow, bull or ox. I am 100% in the red. That is the one that I am the most sensitive to right now, today, now. If you eat a ton of beef, which we have been doing, potentially you can have a false positive reading and you can become sensitive. It can show up that you have a memory and an immune response for that antibody in your system. So the best thing to do for me is to take beef away from the equation for 4 weeks. Don't eat beef for 4 weeks. And at the end of my elimination diet, add beef back and see how it's reacting to me. Now, here's the weird part. I've had a sinus headache for months. I've had a sinus issue. I've had postnasal drip and I bend over and my nose runs. And I'm stuffed up here all the time. And it's interesting because when I go to the non and the plant items, the non-food items, none of the things I thought I was sensitive to or had allergies to, as far as that is concerned, is even listed. So is beef an issue? I don't know. And I'll explain what we're going to do and stay carnivore and stay to my challenge with that information. Next thing is chickpeas, a cultivated legume high in protein. I'm 98% on that. That's why I felt so bad as a vegan and vegetarian. We had chickpeas and legumes all the time. Could not lose weight, was bloated, full of gas, lethargic, brain fog. So that makes sense. Now this is quite interesting, you guys. Chicory lettuce is any type of lettuce. It is orange, so 88%. So as a vegan, I was eating nothing but salads. Lettuce was my mainstay. Lettuce was my go-to. Craw or cray, depending on where you're from, crayfish is a freshwater crustacean resembling a small lobster. I am 92% sensitive to that fish. I'm not going to be eating any crawfish unless I go down to Louisiana or one of my relatives down there, and I can just say I can't have it. This is very interesting. It's E297 fumaric acid. This is a natural flavor. It's in products including bread, fruit drinks, pie filling, poultry, wine, jams, and jelly. It is a red, and it's at 97%. How do I find out E297 fumaric acid if it's part of the natural flavor suite? I guess when I see the word natural flavors on the label, I need to discern and say I'm not going to have it. Like all of the sparkling waters that I have, I'm going to be switching. When I'm done drinking them, I'm going to switch to plain sparkling water and not buy any more flavored ones, because if natural flavorings have that, and I looked up fumaric acid and it's a tart and tangy, which I like. I like the tart and tangy drinks, not the super sweet ones. So I'm sure I am getting that. Here's another one that's very interesting. E901 beeswax, white and yellow. It's a coating, it's in chewing gum and part of honey flavor. I'm 91% sensitive. I have been using Burt's Bees Here's some Burt's Bees. Here's some Burt's Bees. I wear Burt's Bees night and day, every single night, every single day. And I use the cuticle cream too, and it's all beeswax. So is it because I've overused it for several years, and have I built up a sensitivity to it? So I'm gonna have to get shea butter and something that has no beeswax in it and set these aside to see how I do in an elimination phase, just to see. I thought that was quite interesting. Now you guys, E950 acetylphenamine K acetylphenamine, which is an artificial sweetener. I am 94% sensitive to that product. So I need to not have any candies, no keto treats, no diet sodas or drinks that have acetylphenamine K, acetylphenamine artificial sweetener in it. Here's one that floored me. My favorite tea in the entire universe is Earl Grey tea. It's a tea flavored with oil of bergamot, and I have a 91% sensitivity to it. So I'm going to have to go to black tea, or I'm going to have to go to green tea, but I can't have my Earl Grey tea unless I want to have a sensitivity maybe, or a reaction to it. And maybe if I remove it and have it on occasion, that might be fine, but it's not an all the time tea like I used to drink a whole teapot at a time in the wintertime. Gluten. I already knew I had gluten sensitivities. Gluten present in wheat, rye, and barley, 95%, it's a red. So anything that has gluten in it is sensitive, and I found that out a long time ago. I blow up and I look pregnant with that. Guava. We had guava trees in my house in California. I'm 87%, so that's a sensitivity. This one's interesting. Halibut. North Main fish eaten worldwide. I'm 86% sensitive to it. Here's another one that floored me is macadamia nuts. I am 91% sensitive to macadamia nuts, and I love macadamia nuts, so I just have to take that away. Portobello mushrooms, the biggest kind of mushrooms, 86%. We used portobello mushrooms instead of bread. We used them for the buns. I made stuffed portobello mushrooms. I chopped those things up. I put them in my bone broths. I put them everywhere as a vegan, vegetarian, and now in my wild mushrooms medley that I have. So I was amazed at that. Now, rocket or arugula, which is salad leaf with a strong peppery flavor, I'm 93% sensitive to that. It's a red. Shiitake mushroom, same thing. A type of mushroom high in vitamin B and D. I'm 91% sensitive to it. And you guys, this is so funny. Vodka, it's a red, it's 98%. Most of the vodkas these days are made with wheat. So that makes sense to me. So the ones that I really need to look out for are the beef, because it's a red, chickpea, it's a red, fumaric acid, it's a red, gluten, it's a red, and vodka. Don't need vodka, never really drank it, never cared for it. Gluten, I've got rid of that a long time ago. This fumaric acid I'm gonna have to be careful with. If it says natural flavors, I'm gonna have to probably pass on it unless it's a one-time thing, not all the time. Chickpeas, I don't need to worry about that because I don't eat them anymore. And beef, we're gonna have to do an elimination diet with that. So I just wanted to share that information on my foods. Now, non-food environmental items. This was really interesting because some of the things I know I have issues with are not on here. So, quite interesting. So, just so you know that these non-food items can be causing a reaction by being close to your skin or inhaling them, smelling them, getting pollen, touching the leaves, touching the bark or the plant. So, ash, which is an ash tree, right? And I love the wood. Ash wood is my favorite pattern of wood. I'm 87% on that. Clover. Flowers usually found in fields and dry pastures, right here. I'm 99% allergic to this. Running through a field of clover, don't do it, Wendy. You're probably going to have a major allergy attack. Elder, as in elderberry.
86%. When we were vegan and vegetarian, we used to take elderberry every year and use elderberry cough drops, cough syrup, whenever we got a cold. Quite interesting. Goats. I'm allergic to goat hair and dander, the domestic animal, 98% of goats. I get to look at goats, but don't pet them. Now, an animal does not mean you can't have the milk or food from the animal, the meat of the animal. It's the hair and the dander that they're talking about. Hamsters. I never had a hamster. My sister Lori had Rufus, her little hamster, but I'm 99% allergic to hamsters. So I won't be getting a hamster anytime soon. Horse chestnut, which is quite interesting because I was looking to buy some horse chestnut for vein support. I guess I won't be doing that anytime soon because I'm 99% allergic to it. Hyacinth. We used to have koi ponds in California in our backyard, and I grew water hyacinth, and they were absolutely beautiful, and I had allergies all the time there. Was it my water hyacinth that was causing it? Because they're fragrant flowering plants, and I love to smell them. 90%. Japanese cedar. 97%. Now, is Japanese cedar the cedar that's made the wood that I have lined in my closet in the hall? Is it my cedar chest? I don't know. But cedar is something I am allergic to. Mangrove. Well, if I go anywhere tropical and they have the mangroves, the big, huge mangroves trees, I can look but not touch because I'm 88%. Meadow fescue, which is the tall, loosely tufted grass with the long, flat leaves, 95%. And sheep's wool, which I absolutely know I'm allergic to. The texture and fiber attained from the sheep, I am highly allergic to. It scratches me. I get hives from it. I can't stand to wear it. I have to be very careful with sheep's wool. Blankets, anything that's 100% wool, I can't get it near my body or I'm going to get hives. So that's for the non-food environmental items. Now, nutritional imbalances. You should simply try and add 1 or 2 of the recommended food items to your diet each day because these mean that I am low in these particular vitamins, right? It's always better to get your nutrition from a food source as this will enter your body much faster. The nutritional information found next to each nutrient is important as a well-balanced diet along with healthy lifestyle can boost your immune system and also reduce your intolerance levels. So I just want to share. Chromium is one of them. What I find interesting, I want to read what the symptoms are, right? Chromium is helped. It's an essential part of the metabolic processes that regulate blood sugar, helps insulin transport glucose into cells where you can use it for energy. So if I'm insulin resistant, is it because I'm low in chromium? Manganese. It's important for formulation of the bones, connective tissues, blood clotting factors, sex hormones, and also is involved in fat and carbohydrate metabolism, calcium absorption, and blood sugar regulation. Yes, 94%. Nucleic acid. Now this is very interesting to me because it's a red and it's 95%. Nucleic acid has to do with your DNA and your RNA. It's extremely important. It's very important. Nucleic acids are the compounds that make up nucleotide bases. It's the molecules that bind together to form DNA. And there's one thing on my blood work that I always have a weird on my blood cells, on the shapes of my blood cells. So I'm wondering if it's the nucleic acid. And one of the things I'm going to do for it, because it's found in fish, beans, nuts, spinach, beef, mushrooms, and eggs, and brewer's yeast, is start taking some brewer's yeast. And that's another thing, you guys. Most of these vitamins I'm deficient in, you can get them from beef. I know, it's ironic. Pantothenic acids. Now, this can assist in anxiety, arthritis, and stress. It can also support the immune system and gastrointestinal tract, okay? 85%. But this is the red one, this nucleic acid. Phosphorus, 90%. And a lot of these you can get from sardines, which I'm very excited about. Phosphorus, you can get them in cod, sardines, right? Tuna, salmon, shrimp, turkey, beef. And basically, it is anxiety, bone pain, brittle bones, stiff joints, irregular breathing, lack of appetite. Polyphenols, which we've all heard about. It's an antioxidant and it helps with inflammation. So that is 87%. Vitamin B12 I'm low in. And I'm low in vitamin B6, so I can take a vitamin B complex, or I can have cows, of course, because I can't have almond milk. I'm 97% low in vitamin B12. I got very low in vitamin B12 when we were taking vitamin B12 shots and under the tongue as vegans and vegetarians. So I need to boost my vitamin B12 and my vitamin B6. That plays the important role in converting food into energy and helping the body metabolize fats and proteins. So if you look through here, blood and glucose regulation, carbohydrates, fat metabolism, metabolizing fats and proteins. So you can see where maybe having issues with not being able to lose the weight, something happened, and I have a imbalance and nutritional deficiencies that I need to bring back up to par. So I need some work to do on that, but the two most important ones are the vitamin B12 and the nucleic acid, which is extremely important. So I really, really need to work on both of those, but all of them in conjunction. Now, metals and balances. This just shows I am, it's so funny on this one, I am sensitive to cadmium, gold, and silver. I wear gold and I wear silver every single day of my life, and I'm not going to quit wearing gold and silver. The funny thing is usually with the gold or silver sensitivity and metal sensitivity, you get a black ring or a green ring around your jewelry, and I don't get any of that. So I thought that was quite funny that 91%, because I have an affinity for gold and silver, don't I, Harry?
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was quite funny. And also, it could be internally, you know, maybe is there a food group that I can say that I consume regularly that contain these? Not to my knowledge, other than cadmium. I saw on YouTube that there has been cadmium that has been found now in chocolates. Lindt is one of them, and believe it or not, Lily's chocolate. And you guys need to research that. Chocolate with cadmium in it on YouTube, because there is one on there, and it goes into all of the brands that they're finding this trace toxic metal in. So I would suggest you do that. That's just something I wanted to share, because I researched this before I wanted to share this with everybody. I wanted to get my ducks in a row. Now, gut biome test. Bacillus coagulans. And the funny thing about that is I added Bacillus coagulans to my fermented yogurt. That was one of them that I added, but I am low in it still, 95% low. Now, is that because of I quit taking it? Maybe I didn't put enough in it. Maybe my body didn't respond, or I wasn't feeding that particular bacillus, so it died out in my system. But that's the only thing I have, and I can get it in fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and yogurt. And since I'm not allergic to sauerkraut, kimchi, or yogurt, thank heavens, I do not have any milk intolerance whatsoever. I'm very excited. My hormones, thank you, are 100%. There's no anomalies for this section, and therefore I have no results. So my standards, the quality standards, showed everything as being 100% correct, which is quite interesting because I had a partial hysterectomy when I was 25, and then I had my only ovary, the last one I had, removed when I was 46, and I never took any kind of therapy or anything, but I do know that your fat holds and stores hormones. So maybe as I'm losing my fat, all the fat that I gained when I was 282 pounds, maybe I'm releasing the hormones into my body, but I do not have a hormone imbalance, which makes me feel very good. Now, digestive health and metabolism analysis. Amylase, and that is something that I need to have. And remember again, it's present in seeds and starch or fungi. So really, amylase, if I needed to digest the foods that we eat as carnivore or ketovore, that would make sense to me, but I'm sensitive to it, which is interesting. I'm not sensitive to it, pardon me. I don't have enough of it in my body right now. So that's the only digestive health and metabolism analysis there. So basically, this talks about the common intolerance system, the nausea, fatigue, stomach complaints, brain fog, rashes, respiratory complaints. These are the allergy symptoms: rashes, respiratory complaints, anaphylaxis, sore eyes, swelling. So food intolerance is the intolerance and inability to digest an item properly, whether this is a food intolerance, sensitivity, or an environmental factor, which is a non-food intolerance. Intolerances can occur due to several reasons, and the two most common are: the body is lacking in the necessary digestive enzyme for certain food and therefore cannot digest the item properly or efficiently or take the nutrients from it. A sensitivity resulting from overconsumption or overexposure. And I think the reason why beef is 100% is overconsumption or overexposure. My body thinks I'm sensitive to it because I've been eating it all the time, and it could be a false positive, and that's why a lot of the doctors don't believe in these tests. But just to check to see if this sinus thing that I've been having for months is real, I'm going to do an elimination diet, removing beef, and we'll go over that later. But basically, this is not a test for allergies, you guys. If results indicate a high-level reaction, this suggests that there may be a sensitivity. So you guys need to know that, and you need to look through all of this information. If you decide to do one, take it with a grain of salt. Know that you can also do this on your dogs and cats. You can get a hair sample one done for your animals as well to help you adjust their diet according. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think if I share Harry's, it's going to be too long, but beef was his number one thing too. Also, Harry, another thing with Harry is a milk sensitivity, which is interesting. I will read that part of it because we're going to have to do some adjustments based on that. Let me go to Harry's real quick. Harry. Okay, I've got Harry's up. I just want to go to his food report real quick so you guys can see this. Bay leaf. I've been using bay leaf in my bone broths and all of my broths and gravies. Can't use it anymore. He's 100%. It's the red line. It's the most intolerant one that's on here. And then beef. But like I said, it's going to show a sensitivity potentially because we're overusing it. And if that happens with you with eggs, probably the same thing. Back off from a little bit. Another thing that was interesting about his was milk showed up at 87% right here. Interesting right here. They do condensed milk. Condensed milk is cow's milk from water, which the water has been removed. All animal milk products contain fat. Therefore, we would recommend eliminating dairy from the diet. What does having fat have to do with recommending eliminating dairy from the diet? So we're going to just watch the milk products that he uses. Stay away from the hard aged cheeses. Stay with the lighter end of the dairy products with him because we know that he does get internal gas, diarrhea, bloating when he does eat the meats. But other than that, the things that are on here are not, other than prawns. If you look down here, prawns, 98% it's a red. Olives are green and they are 94%, and then white wine, and you guys, he's allergic to sugar. White sugar, 93%. So that's interesting. He doesn't like white wine, so that's not a big deal. It was 99%. But I thought the interesting thing was bay leaf, beef, and prawns were the foods that we would have been eating. So that's easy for us to get rid of, and so forth. So this has gone long and hard, but I just want to share with everybody my sensitivity check and remind everybody that they're not 100% accurate, just like everything else. You know, it's like doing a Keto Mojo, there's a percentage up or down and that type of thing. But it's knowledge is power, and I can adjust things accordingly to see if it makes a difference in my overall health and well-being. I hope you guys found that information very helpful on the way the sensitivity check went for me. I find it fascinating that the beef could be something that I have my body, because I'm over consuming or I'm eating it all the time, it's considering it, you know, as a potential sensitivity issue. One of the things Harry and I talked about is when we're done with this sardine fast challenge is we're gonna buy lamb, we're gonna buy some pork, we're gonna buy chicken, we're gonna buy some other things and do an elimination diet just to see if it makes a difference, if the scale moves. Let's see how it goes, you guys, but we're gonna stay carnivore and we're gonna stay the course. Tell me, do you find this information valuable? Is this something that you have done? How do you feel about the information you heard about me and what I have? I'm going to take that information into account and make better food choices based on the potential that I could potentially be sensitive to it. The only thing I'm really upset about was the nucleic acid, and because that has to do with DNA and RNA, and I think I can fix that with food. I think I can fix all of these with food. Either omit the food, modify the food and the amount of time and usage is concerned, and do an elimination diet for anything I want to bring back into my diet moving forward. So anyway, you guys, that's it in a nutshell. One more thing before we are done. We did not get an MRI done on Harry. Harry went, shh, let me finish this. Just a minute, just a minute. I'm not done. I'll hold this so you think I'm doing something. There were two orders. There was an order for his lumbar and an order for his hip. They did not have the lumbar, and that's the most important thing, number one. Number two, they had him in the small machine, and Harry was upset with the fact that they weren't going to do his lumbar, which is what the chiropractor has been waiting this entire time for. They were only going to shoot his hip, which he's already had done. So there was an error. They went and checked his records, and it got sent. Nobody even put it into the system. So it's been sitting there doing nothing. It has to go through approval for the insurance, so I can call and get both done at once, but we have to wait. Harry got put on the machine, and the way they put him on, his back just started screaming. He had a panic attack with it. They had to stop, so he could not have the MRI done because of the skin narrow table and the way they put him in on the machine. So we have to get one that's a wider, more open. We need to get, I think because of his back and the pain that he has, those tables are hard, the metal, if you guys have ever had one. They said that we can pay $60 and get an IV Valium done for the test, which I think we need to do for this because he'll be getting his lumbar and his hip done. So I need to call, make an appointment, get the machine and the facility that does all of those things all at once. So I need to do tomorrow. So we're starting over, basically. And Harry is very sore and needs to lay down and put some stuff on his back. It's the way the table is bent because they put him in backwards, feet first in the machine, and where the table is, it just killed his back. It just hurt him too much.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So, and then that panicked him, freaked him out because he was in the tube and was having muscle spasms at the same time. Anyway, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out for today. Please remember to like, subscribe, ring that little bell, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you right here tomorrow. Sally's here, she's being good. She wants to say goodnight. Yeah, you want to say goodnight? Say goodnight. Yes, indeed. You are being such a good girl. Yes, you are. You want your carnivore dog? Yeah. Beef sliders, you get the beef. Woo!
Oh, there she goes.
Really in a curry, wasn't she?
Yes. Good night, everybody. She gets the beef, and I don't. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.